we leave this. Oh, good, and we have a few people digging in a little
Okay.
bit later. Oh, but my personal problems are not your worries.
They're fun to hear.
Yeah. Okay. Buenos días, buenos días.
Buenos días.
Buenos días.
Pam, 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 pam. Ok. Buenos días y vamos a practicar. Voy a tomar sus preguntas. I'm going to take your questions because I'm sure you've got some. We're gonna work a little bit with this thing that's called presente progresivo. What that means is present progressive, what it sounds like. It's a cognate. And all it means is that the way we express something is going, ing, going on right now. It is easy to form because it is exactly like what English does. However, when you use it does matter. Okay. So I'm going to talk about why this is important to know when you need it and when you don't. Also important to know. And then we're going to practice a lot of it. I want to ask you now, before we get too far, the lady who had the video had a ton of examples, which is why I sent that video. She's probably a little uncomfortable for you guys to listen to, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so here's my question for you. After my little spiel of why it's important to know when we use it, when we don't, would you like me to do a walkthrough of that video?
Sure.
Okay.
Please.
And why she used what she did. Okay.
And she used a lot of vocabulary that maybe is unfamiliar.
And she probably did. Yeah. She probably used some verbs that you were like, wow, what is that?
I counted.
But because you
I
had
counted 14 words.
Oh, okay. So is it helpful for me to do a walkthrough on that video?
Yes.
Okay, here's what she's okay. And I'll put the subtitles on. I have an easier, a slower video with slower examples for next week, which will have the same kind of examples so that you've got like a follow-up of hearing how this is used. Okay. Presente progresivo. Let's take a look first. What we want to talk about and review and see if you have questions about. I'll do a quick message to somebody because I forgot to turn my chat boxes up. I have too many other things going on. Oh yeah, I am trying to send lots of emails. Okay, there, got it. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the screen. Sept. Format is super easy to do because the structure is really like English, except like the conjugations are different instead. So, yeah. The only verb you truly have to know how to conjugate is estar. Estar. So you need to know how to say estoy, estás, tú, you está for one person. Estamos to say we are, and están, they are. That's the only strict conjugation you need to know. But the second part of that structure is the ing part. That is not truly a conjugation. Why? Because it is what they call in grammar speak a present participle. All this means is it is the ing, and it does not change depending on yo or tú or él or nosotros. It does not change depending on who you're talking about. The only thing you're conjugating and changing for yo, tú, nosotros, etc. is está. Estoy, estás, está. Estamos, están. That's the only conjugation. The other part is always either an ando, which is your ing for AR verbs, or yendo for ER and IR verbs. That's the ing for an ER verb or an IR verb. But it's not a different form for all the different human beings you're talking about. So that is why it is easy. Okay. In English, actually, this very simple thing of present progressive can be used in for a lot of contexts. In English, it might be used to say, hey, people, right now, as we speak, I am talking to you. I am looking at my screen. I am talking to you. I am trying not to check my text messages from the car dealer. Okay. It is the real time. This is happening right now. English has that meaning, but English, curiously, often uses this present progressive. I am watching, I am listening, I am talking. English also uses this very loosey-goosey, maybe not to mean right now, but to mean I will do it soon. If I say to you right now, because you know I'm buying a car, I'm calling my insurance. I'm going to tell you in English. I'm calling my insurance guy today. When do you think I'm doing that?
Today.
Today? Joe. Okay.
Didn't you say today?
Kind of vague. Yeah.
Kind of vague.
Probably soon. Right?
Right.
But in English, that ing doesn't always mean right now, live time. It might mean, well, soon.
Soon.
At 1, at 5. Yeah, but it's vague, isn't it? It's vague. But it's kind of, it implies soon, future. So, okay, in English, it can mean that. And how do you know in English? From the way the conversation is going. There's no red flag. I don't mean really right now. I mean 2 hours from now. Yeah, or tomorrow. Yeah.
Or requires a follow-up question.
There you go. There you go. Exacto. So in English, it's got a lot of potentially different interpretations, but in Spanish, it does not have different interpretations. So that's what you need to know. Okay. So when I say, estoy manejando a la oficina, I mean now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you hear people using it, they're talking about pretty much live, or IRL, in real life, as my adult children like to say. Okay. So in English, there are different nuances where we sneak that in, and you just have to really listen to, what from context does that mean? But in Spanish, it's much more specific. Okay. Okay, but that's what you need to know. It has a specific meaning, a specific time frame. In Spanish, it truly only means right now. It does not mean soon or in the future. Okay, we're good on that so far? So you will not hear it all the time. And a lot of times, if you're describing what you see around you in the park, right? You might very well say in Spanish, los niños Juegan en el parque. The kids are playing in the park. And in
Playing in the
English, you might just say that they're playing in the park. And plain old present, juegan, is fine. But if you really want to give the inject into that conversation, oh, look at those kids kicking the ball right now. Then it could be los niños están jugando. Okay, so it carries a specific in real time meaning in Spanish. So here's the easy part. Estoy, estás, está, estamos. Well, estáis only in Spain for you guys, right? But Latin America doesn't use estáis, están. Those are the only things you need to know. By the way, there are a few other verbs. We may or may not get time for them today. There are a few other verbs that sometimes can be used instead of estar with the ing. There are a few that are okay. I don't know if we'll have time to get those or not, but they are possible. There are a few possibilities, but not like tons of possible. So it'll be easy for me to clarify that later. Here is the second part, and this is the part that isn't really a conjugation because it does not change for the human being who's doing it. It is simply an ing. No matter who you're talking about, it'll be the same word. Okay? AR verbs take off the AR and do an ando. There's your ing, right? So, estar becomes estudiando. Hablar becomes hablando. Tomar for drinking or taking the bus, yeah, because tomar has more meanings than one meaning. Tomando. Viajar, traveling, viajando. Escuchar becomes escuchando. Pagar becomes pagando. Okay. So, for example, if I tell you, estoy pagando el taller hoy. I'm paying the repair shop. That means I'm writing the check out now. But you can see, I can't be doing that right now, right? To say estoy pagando al taller, I'm paying the shop guy for my car. I'd have to be doing it right now. What I would convey to you to really describe that as it is in reality is pago al taller with plain old present tense. Pago al taller hoy, a las 2 hoy, at 2:00. See? Yeah. And I couldn't really say to you conversationally, estoy pagando, because I am not doing it while we're talking. Yeah. Okay. Unless you're one of those people who really multitask, so I guess you could. So, okay. So, típicamente, here is another good example using viajar of an appropriate use. I could say to you, I'm traveling in English. I'm traveling to Scottsdale over the weekend. Or I'm traveling to Flagstaff. You want to make it a trip. Viajar. I'm traveling to Flagstaff over the weekend. That'd be a typical thing for somebody saying in English, right? But you know they're not doing it now because they said over the weekend.
The weekend, yeah.
But in Spanish, if I want to convey that same idea, I cannot say it as estoy viajando a Flagstaff el fin de semana.
No,
That to a listener, will they understand you? Yeah, but the kind of thing, but you're not doing it now. See what I mean? Yeah. So to convey that idea of I am doing it Friday afternoon, I cannot say estoy viajando. And it's a typical thing you would say to a buddy. Hey, I'm going to Flagstaff on time. But we can't say am traveling that way in Spanish because it isn't right now. I would have to convey that same idea of it's happening Friday, of viajo a Flagstaff viernes. I'm traveling to Flagstaff Friday. That would make perfect sense to some. Or voy a viajar a Flagstaff. El viernes, I'm going to travel to Flagstaff
Mhm.
on Friday. Those two, viajo a Flagstaff, voy a viajar a Flagstaff. Those two make sense. But to me, for me to talk to you right now and say, estoy viajando a Flagstaff, I'm broadcasting from my car.
Mhm.
And that, yeah. So you inject a definite time frame by using that. You see what I mean, right? See?
Mhm.
Entiende?
Mhm.
Okay, vale.
So
Let's look
Marilyn,
at it. Yeah.
so just quick clarification. So just to recap, if it's in Spanish, if it's not happening right now, then I guess I can assume that's either past tense or future tense.
Past tense, future, or plain old present.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm traveling to Flagstaff. When I mean Friday, can just be viajo a Flagstaff. And that's okay. Yeah. But then they know it's not as we speak. It'll be sometime soon. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Big. Bye. Because in English, we use this ing idea a lot. We throw it out all the time. And your brain does not think about the whys. It's the why. You don't need to. Yeah. Our English context and form is hardwired into your brain like a piece of software. And you don't even think about it, say it. But we do kind of need to think about, well, what's time frame I want to convey to the person I'm talking to, right? Okay, vale. Bueno, let's take a look at examples of how the ER and IR verbs will look in the ing format, right? They become yendo. We take off the ER, we take off the IR. It becomes comer, becomes comiendo, comiendo. Vivir becomes viviendo. Escribir becomes escribiendo. Vender, to sell, becomes vendiendo, selling. Correr becomes corriendo. Hacer, to do, becomes haciendo. So those are just examples so you know how those two operate. But the real conjugations are here in Megaspat. So it's easy peasy for the structure, right? But you don't want to tell somebody something is happening right now if you really mean in a couple of hours. Because yeah. Okay. Bien. Are we good on that so far?
Mhm.
Sí?
Yes.
Bien. Okay.
Sí.
So I'm just going to go through a couple of these examples so you can see. Estoy tomando un café con. I can say right now, validly, estoy tomando un café con mis amigos, because I am having this while I'm talking to you. So that's valid. Yeah, that works. See, bien. Here is what you say. Your significant other calls while you're at the airport. Yeah. No podemos hablar. We cannot talk. Estamos abordando el avión ahora. We are boarding the plane, but that means
Now,
now. Get off the phone.
abordando.
Yeah. So it has a really specific context, and sometimes that is helpful, and sometimes it is not. But you need to know when it's appropriate. So, okay. Or when people talk to you, they put it in what they mean right now. Yeah, that's what they mean. Vale. Okay. There are a few little oddball things with the Yingo, but they're not a biggie. They're easy. We're not going to focus on it yet today. There are some little spelling changes with some verbs,
Mhm.
but they're very small categories of verbs.
Mm.
They're not, these are like a 5% rule. Okay, so I'm just going to give it some, yeah. If a verb ends in EER or AER or UIR, okay. Instead of iendo, IENDO, it does a Y. And it only does that because Spanish tends to not like three vowels in a row as a general rule.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that E sound from yendo, I, yendo, that I, letter I, o decimos en español, I, okay? That, when you say the word quickly, really, the way they all blend together sounds, it's more represented by that letter, Y. Okay, so it's a spelling thing, yeah. If you look at leer, leyendo is what you would normally say to create that. You just know it's spelled with a Y, not instead of L-E-I-E-N-D, it's L-E-Y. So if you're writing, it's important. If you're speaking, it's not important. Construir, construyendo, construyendo. If I know they're repairing the road, and I know I can't see it right now, it's not in my line of vision, but I know they're doing repairs. This is totally appropriate to say, están construyendo en la calle Shea. They're doing construction on Shea because I know it's happening today, all day long. So it's okay for me to say that. Están construyendo en la calle en Shea Boulevard. Awesome. So spelling change, not a biggie, but again, you've got this in the past. And there are a couple things, and again, these are maybe less than 5%, probably it's This is a very small category of verbs. This is notorious, teenage kids in a Spanish class hate, and literally a physical groan goes up in a group of 30 people. Stem changing verbs that are IR, stem changing verbs, do get a little stem change in the ando yendo. Less than 5%. So let's look at what they are. Dormir, to sleep, is an IR verb that is a stem changer, and that O changes into a U. So dormir is not dormiendo, it's durmiendo.
Durmiendo.
Yeah, okay, the O goes to U, okay? Or, we hope you don't have to use this in real time, morir, to die, muriendo is dying. We hope that's not real time, yeah. Yeah, okay, but, here's an example of an E that goes into an I, and really, the durmiendo and muriendo are the only two you gotta know for OU.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it, baby. Okay, let's look at the other ones, which is a little bigger category. Pedir, it's not pidiendo for ordering. It is pidiendo or asking for. Pedir means to ask for,
Pidiendo.
right? Pidiendo, and
Pidiendo.
repetir, repitiendo, E to I, okay, and that's like that I in bold, so you see where that happens. Or servir, sirviendo, it's not serviendo, it's sirviendo, okay?
Okay. Got
Really
it.
small category. This is not a spelling change. This is a true letter, a sound that is different, right? Sirviendo, S-I-R, is not S-E-R of servir, it's sirviendo. Okay. So, small category. Small category. There are other verbs that might sub in for a start. We're not going to look at that yet today. We might get time, we might not. Okay. Vale. Yeah. ¿Entienden? Good so far? I'm with you with that?
Mhm.
The structure is easy to know. There are only a few irregular oddball things. And the and the context is important. Okay. And need to turn one thing off. Excuse me, one quick second. No. Okay. Okay. Want to make sure that was turned off. Sorry, guys. Too much technology. Yeah. All right. Bye. Vamos a ver. Let's do our little walkthrough. So you see the examples. Seeing the examples, right? we develop muscle memory in our brains from hearing examples. Because to be honest with you, the point you want to get at is when you say something, not because you thought of a conjugation, but because it sounds right. It sounds right because you heard a gazillion examples, and it sounds right when you say it, because those are examples you heard. But me, I'm gonna make sure I've got the subtitles on, and I'm gonna slow her down
Okay.
for you guys. She's not too fast for me, but I know it can be a comfort level. It's a little intimidating. And by the way, she thinks it's super slow where she's speaking. Not necessarily for beginning. Okay, vamos a ver. Can you see the nice lady in the with the glasses?
Not yet.
Oh, ya no. Okay. Oh, because I have one more button to hit. Un botón más. Un botón más. Ooh. See one of the problems, one of my students.
Hmm.
Zoom has changed. I want, oh. Got a new
There we
option.
go.
You can see me in the little corner, right?
Yes.
Okay. I will not be able to see you guys. So if you want to interrupt, yell. We're good. Okay. I'm going to turn on our closed captions so you can hear her. But I want to illustrate because she uses pictures to do this. And that because one of you, I think it was Joe, said, oh, I didn't know some of this vocabulary. That's the reason she's got a picture. She's hoping you'll understand what the verb means from the action you see in the little cartoon. Okay. Bien.
¿Estás? Mi nombre es Mónica, soy tutora de español
Ah,
y por si no me conocías, en este
okay,
canal te
typical.
ayudo a practicar tu
And
español.
I'm going to go straight to the picture. Now, she doesn't really mean this as necessarily a lesson on
Pero el día
progressive, but she uses a ton of examples. So
de hoy te
let's,
traigo otro ejercicio con una imagen. Esta imagen
today I'm bringing you a picture with an image, una imagen, an image. And now, the reason she's going to use a lot of, she is walking, he is driving, is because she's treating this as if the action is going on right now in real time. Okay? She's treating this as a live scene, even though it is not a video. You know what I'm saying about that?
Mhm.
She's treating it as if it were going on right now.
es directo desde una calle. Y en
From a
esta
street,
calle vamos a ver mucho
we're
vocabulario
going to see a lot of
y
vocab.
vamos a ver qué están haciendo las personas.
And here's the first thing. We're going to see what the people are doing. Vamos a ver, we're going to see qué están haciendo las personas. What the people are doing. So she's treating it as an in real life situation. Yeah? Okay? Are we good on the same page so far? See?
Mhm.
Vale, bueno. Okay, let's go.
En la calle. Entonces, vámonos como siempre de izquierda.
We're going to go from left to right. So we're going to hear izquierda, left, a la derecha, to the right. So she's going to look at the activities on the left of the cartoon, moving to the right of the cartoon.
A la derecha, ¿sí? En el lado izquierdo,
En el lado izquierdo, on what side? On the left side, see?
arriba,
Arriba,
podemos
up high.
encontrar a una señora
We can find a lady, we find a lady,
que está tomando café.
and what is the lady doing? A una señora que está tomando café.
drinking coffee.
is drinking coffee, and my screen is blocked, but she's up here in the green shirt, way upper left-hand corner. And she's treating it as if it's going on now. That's why she's choosing to use that. To express. Está tomando café. Está, because it's talking about one person. Tomando café. She's drinking.
¿Cómo sabemos que está tomando café?
How do we know that she's drinking coffee?
Porque aquí hay una taza y su
Because there's a cup. Porque aquí hay una taza, because here there's a cup.
taza se ve caliente. Mira, aquí
And
está.
the cup looks hot. Yeah. Se ve caliente. It doesn't mean, ver means to look, to see something. But se ve caliente, it looks hot. So it looks like she's got a hot liquor. Okay. Se ve, it looks a certain way, right? I can say to any one of you today, te ves muy bien. You look really well. Because you look like you're healthy and normal today. Okay.
Está como el humo que sale cuando las
Steam is coming up. Steam is leaving the cup. El humo que sale, the steam that leaves the cup.
cosas están calientes.
When things are hot, steam goes out.
Entonces la señora está tomando café mientras está observando a las personas en la calle, ¿sí?
So not only is she está tomando un café, but mientras, while she's doing what other thing?
Observing.
While she's observing the people on the
Street.
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 Mm.
Yeah, okay. Más ejemplos, more examples.
Está viendo hacia la calle.
Está viendo hacia la calle. Hacia means toward. She is,
I say.
Looking.
she's seeing,
Looking.
she's looking towards the street. Okay. Got it. And that viendo comes from ver, to see. Ver, verb becomes viendo. And it's just está viendo. Okay.
Luego, del lado derecho, vemos a un
To the
señor.
right.
Un señor que tal vez es el dueño de este negocio que
A man who is tal vez, perhaps the owner of this business.
es
Maybe his
una
owner.
Yeah.
panadería. Esto es una panadería.
Panaderia, it is a bakery, a
Bakery.
bread shop, place where they bake bread.
Porque aquí hay un pan. Aquí
There's
afuera
bread
hay
on
un
the
pan.
sign.
Hay una
outside.
mesa pequeña y una silla con
And
un florero.
she's talking about what's outside. There's the table, there's the chair,
Florero.
the little vase,
Y este
florero,
señor
vase.
está saludando a
The man is doing what? Está saludando.
He's
Greeting.
waving.
He's
Greetings.
greeting. Yeah,
Hello.
he is.
Hola.
He's saying hi. He's greeting.
Right.
Yeah. You might express that in English as he's saying hello. Means the same thing as greeting. Está saludando.
Or
So,
salutation, right?
Oh, perdón.
Salutations, right? In English.
salutation.
Yeah, we've got
Okay.
a word salutation in English, but you know, if you said to somebody kind of, he is saluting, he is giving salutations, people would think,
Yeah, yes.
okay, fine. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, conversationally, we're going to say he is saying hi, but you would not translate he is saying hi with the verb say, decir, and hola. You're not likely to use that. You're likely to say saludando. Está saludando. Oh.
a una chica que va caminando.
And here you see an example of not using this time. Es importante, it's important. Está saludando a una chica. He is greeting a young lady, a girl,
Who's walking?
who is walking. And wait a minute,
Walking.
why didn't she say está caminando? She could have said está caminando, but she wanted to give a feel of movement.
Oh, okay.
So one of the main verbs that you might hear instead of está is va. Ir. Forms of ir are sometimes used with this as well. And it really means the same thing as está caminando. Va caminando means the same thing, but va caminando, because va means going, it would be more like saying, oh, she's going along walking. It gives it a rolling feel of movement to plug in. Va, the form of ir, to go, instead of está. It's. That's all. Okay.
Sobre la banqueta.
On the
La
sidewalk.
otra vez en un
Banqueta is a vocabulary word you may not know. Banqueta, if you're
It's
tourist
like
in
that.
Mexico, could be important. Banqueta means a sidewalk. Doesn't mean a banquet.
Mm.
Not a place to eat. Banqueta. Sidewalk. Different regions might use a different word for sidewalk, but in Mexico se dice, in Mexico yo sé. En Mexico se dice banqueta. Banqueta.
uno de los videos de calle también me preguntaron cómo se decía
People ask me how
sidewalk.
you say sidewalk.
Ok, entonces sidewalk se dice banqueta. Entonces
Sidewalk
la
is called
chica está
banqueta.
caminando en la banqueta o sobre la banqueta y está saludando al dueño
And the girl is walking on the sidewalk and is greeting the owner. Shopper.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
de
Underneath.
la panadería.
La
¿sí?
panadería, the bakery.
Luego de este lado, del lado derecho, podemos observar
Over on the right hand side. Del lado derecho. Right hand side, right hand side.
a un chico en un local o en un negocio o una tienda
Okay. He's in a business or store of some kind.
de tortas o sándwiches.
Tortas. Oh, and she's going to explain that there are different words for sandwiches. This is actually a useful thing. Vocabulario. No se dice sándwich en todos los países de habla español. They don't use sandwich in all Spanish-speaking countries. Some places do say sandwich. Some places say bocadillo. Some places say torta. Sanduche. There are different words regionally. Kind of like, I guess maybe if you're a native of Philadelphia, you might say a hoagie.
A hoagie, yeah.
Yeah, it's so okay. English does similar things regionally, very regionally. So there you go. She's going to explain that torta means different things in different places.
Regularmente la palabra torta en España se utiliza para pastel.
Torta in Spain is a pastry,
Pastry,
like a pie or a cake. All right.
cake.
So it'll be a pie or cake in Spain, but in Mexico, different.
En México, ¿sí? Entonces, torta en México es como un sándwich, ¿sí? Es un
Torta, if you hear torta, it's not, in Mexico, it is not a pastry. It's separate. Okay.
sándwich
Marilyn?
con
Sí.
Sorry to interrupt.
No.
What's the gist of entonces? She's used it quite a bit.
Entonces is a great kind of pause word or filler word. Doesn't have a lot of meaning. If you look it up, it'll say then. Entonces just moves it along. It's like, okay, so entonces is used when somebody says so,
Okay.
then. Entonces is a moving on pause word.
Mhm.
Then
Thanks.
or so. Perfecto. But kind of a long word for that, isn't it? So, entonces, yeah, there it is.
este tipo de pan como con bolillo, ¿sí?
Bolillo is a bun. Bolillo is a bun, kind of more
Bun.
specific kind of bread, right?
Entonces este chico está comiendo una torta o un
There we go.
Comiendo.
Este chico está comiendo. He is doing this right now because you can see that action happening in the life. He is eating.
Está comiendo.
sándwich en este negocio.
In this business, he's eating in this
Y
business.
aquí abajo vemos a una señora que va en su bicicleta.
And here we have a lady who is going on her bike, que va en su bicicleta.
Trae
Sileta.
cargando una mochila.
Oh, and oh, I forgot to, here's another thing you might notice. She's doing this very casually. Trae comes from traer. Traer means to bring back. And because
What?
she is clearly transporting something, what she's bringing into the picture is, she's got something on her back. And she's carting kind of a cargo. There's a cargo. Cargando means you've got something loaded up. Cargar is to load. And it's important to pronounce the R in cargar because
Got it.
cargar without the R means a very nasty thing. Cargando.
Cargando.
Yeah, otherwise it means taking a poop. So don't leave the R out. Okay, so she could have said está cargando. She is toting along, but she wants to give it a feel for she's bringing it into the picture. So she used trae instead of está. That's a minor thing. It could have been está cargando, and it would be also correct. Yeah. Trae cargando gives it a feel of, ooh, she's bringing something into view. That's all that is doing. Okay.
Con flores.
Flowers,
Y
flowers in the
acá
backpack.
este señor va manejando.
And here is Dylan. She wants to give it a movement feel. So said está manejando. She could have said este señor está manejando. She wants to give it a motion feel. So instead she said este señor va manejando.
He's driving.
He's going along driving. He's driving along.
Driving along. Okay.
Yeah. Yay. Yeah,
Very nice.
English might say along, and that gives you a feeling. Your brain knows that gives a feeling of movement, right? But you don't define that. So.
En México usamos muchísimo más la palabra manejar que conducir.
Two verbs for grammar. And Mexico terms choose manejar to drive a little more, although in certain regions, Mexico might use the other verb. And there's the other verb, conducir. Conducir is used more in Spain. Conducir, you may hear in other countries as well in Latin America. It's very regional. Everybody knows that both those verbs mean to drive. So you'll never confuse somebody
Yeah, okay.
using either one. It's just that manejar is more common in Mexico. Many regions, Mexico, like we said, except for also Mexicans using conducir. So, yeah.
Creo que en España utilizan más la palabra conducir.
Conducir is more
Entonces el
Spanish.
señor
That's
va
true.
manejando
Ah,
mientras su
Entonces.
hija está comiendo un helado.
and she wants to talk about what that while kid is doing while dad is driving. Su hija está comiendo un helado. His daughter is eating
Ice cream.
ice
Something.
cream. Eso sí. Yeah.
Tal vez es un helado de vainilla porque es
Maybe it's a
amarillo.
vanilla, and it's kind of
Y
yellow.
arriba de su coche traen muchas flores. ¿sí?
And above, on top of their car, they're bringing a lot of flowers, and that Brian, she just left as a present tense verb. It's okay.
Traen una maceta con flores. Después
got a
de este
flower.
lado, otra vez del lado izquierdo, vemos
Over on the
que
left.
este negocio es de una cafetería. ¿Por
We see this business is a cafeteria, a
qué?
cafe,
Porque vemos un granito como los que yo tengo aquí.
because we see a granito. Granito, I hear it's a bean. It's a coffee bean. Un granito.
Ah.
Coffee bean. That is a coffee bean. That's why she's showing her tattoo. She has a big coffee bean tattoo.
Coffee beans.
Maybe you
Dos.
didn't figure that out first time. Don't worry.
I didn't.
I'm seeing it the first time and we had two. Oh, she's showing her tattoo. Un granito, a coffee bean. And there's a little sign in the photo where she's got the cursor arrow pointing of the coffee bean. Okay.
Right.
All right.
Un granito de café. Entonces, esto es una cafetería, por eso la señora está acá afuera tomando su café, su taza de café.
Yeah. That's why
Y
you have
aquí
people
vemos
drinking
a
coffee.
una chica que está haciendo 3 acciones al
Ah, the girl está haciendo. La chica está haciendo. She is doing. And she's going to tell you how many reactions.
mismo tiempo.
She's walking,
La
carrying.
primera es está
Al mismo tiempo, at the same
caminando,
time.
¿sí?
At the same time. Okay. Does anybody have questions? No?
No.
Okay. La primera, the first. Sí, la primera, the first. Está caminando. She is
Walking.
walking.
Después vemos que está cargando un cuadro.
Oh, después, later or next. Yeah, later or después is kind of like entonces. It moves the action to the next point. Yeah.
Right.
Después, after, vemos, we see, que está cargando. Cargando, she is
Carrying
putting.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cargar means you got something loaded up.
Right.
Está cargando. She is toting along un cuadro, some kind of picture.
O un
Or
paquete
a packet.
o una pintura, no
Or
sabemos.
painting.
Una de estas 3.
No sabemos. We don't really
know.
know. It's one
Es
of those
este
three.
objeto. Y también está hablando por teléfono. Entonces,
And here's a third thing. También está hablando por teléfono. She's also
Talking on the telephone.
Yeah.
talking on the phone. All right.
entonces 3 acciones. Caminando, está caminando,
Caminando,
está cargando algo
cargando, toting along,
y está hablando por teléfono.
hablando, speaking.
Luego
talking.
de este lado vemos a un gatito parado. Está parado, no está caminando, está parado.
Here we've got a negative doing, not good. Está parado. The cat is just standing. Está parado, it's just standing still. Está parado, no está caminando. Not walking. So,
Right.
no está caminando. Just makes that a negative, not doing.
En medio del cruce.
En medio, right in the
Middle of the walkway.
middle
Street.
of the crosswalk.
Crossway.
Yeah, not cruce. Yeah. Cruce comes from, actually, it's a verb. It corresponds to cruce. Cruce means the thing. Okay, oh, yeah, but it's right. The pedestrian. Crosswalk. Cruce.
Crossway.
Cruzar means you cross the thing you cross on. It's a cruce.
Este es el cruce peatonal.
Cruce peatonal. What kind of crossing is it? It's not a cow crossing. It's not a car crossing. It's a,
Personal crossing.
yeah. And person is called a pedestrian. So that
Pedestrian.
word peatonal, yeah. You know, if you are traveling, taking a vacation, peatonal, if somebody's giving you direction, is actually a very good vocabulary. You know, peatonal means pedestrian. And if somebody's giving you directions and they show you a crosswalk, peatonal, when you hear them saying that, you know it means a crosswalk, because it's designated for people to walk safely.
Or perhaps a zona peatonal,
Uh,
a pedestrian zone.
Yeah. Cruce, sometimes these kind of crossing things are called zebras, because they're striped lines like a zebra. Yeah. So there are different words for these. Yeah. And cruce peatonal.
Entonces este gatito está parado en medio del cruce
So
y
standing
este
in the
otro
middle of the
gatito
crosswalk.
está jugando con una mariposa.
Now we got el otro gatito, the other kitty cat, el otro gatito está jugando.
As opposed to butterfly.
Playing. Jugar is to play. Está jugando con una mariposa. Mariposa is a butterfly. That might be a little hard to distinguish from the picture. Está jugando con una mariposa. That cat is actually doing something instead of just sitting.
Esto es una mariposa y él está como jugando con ella.
He's like playing. Es como jugar. Está como jugando. He's like playing. Como just like.
De este lado vemos a una señora
this
que
side, we
está
see a lady
parada también
who is standing also.
leyendo una revista.
And here you see one of the spelling changes. También leyendo, also reading. She is standing, reading. Una revista is a not newspaper, magazine. Revista is a magazine.
O tal vez es el
Or
periódico.
maybe a
El
newspaper.
periódico regularmente es el papel donde leemos las noticias.
And periódico, newspaper is the vocabulary. It's the paper where we read the news normally. Okay. And notice she goes back to present tense now, but this lady is reading right now, but we do this normally as a routine. Yeah, we read a newspaper. Okay,
Entonces tal vez probablemente está leyendo el periódico.
here you see the spelling changing. Está leyendo, sounds like what we think it should sound. This has a little Y instead of an I. Okay, está leyendo el periódico. She's
O
reading a
una
newspaper
revista.
or a magazine.
Y de este lado, por último,
This
vemos a un
side, finally, we
señor
see a
que
guy.
está tocando la trompeta.
Está tocando la trompeta. He is
Playing the trumpet.
playing the trumpet. Okay. Tocar is to play an
Tocando
instrument.
la trompeta.
Yeah. Tocar has two meanings, but they're related. Está tocando la trompeta. He's playing the trumpet. So playing an instrument is tocando, but tocar, besides playing an instrument, also is touch.
Play. Touch.
Touch. Or to knock
Okay. Yeah.
on a door. Tocar a la puerta. You're sure not playing a door. Estoy tocando a la puerta means I'm doing this now, right now. Yeah. And why is it related to playing an instrument? Because to play an instrument, you have to use your fingers. Yeah. You have to touch an instrument to play it. And that's why tocar also means playing an instrument besides touching something or knocking on a door.
Recuerda la diferencia entre tocar y jugar.
Yeah. Oh, remember the difference between tocar and jugar. Tocar is to play an instrument musically. Jugar is to play a game or a sport. So play depends on the type of what it is. Instrument, tocar. Soccer, checkers, card game, béisbol, jugar, not tocar. Play.
En
Jugando.
español no es la misma palabra jugar como algún deporte o algún
Some kind of
videojuego que tocar
kind of video
algún
game.
instrumento. Sí, son palabras diferentes
They are
para
different
cada
words
actividad.
for each
Para juegos,
activity.
ya sea juegos de mesa o deportes, decimos jugar. Y
So for table games, sports, jugar,
para instrumentos
For
usamos
instruments.
la palabra tocar.
tocar.
Entonces este chico está, bueno, este señor, porque ya está grande, está
Yeah, he's
tocando
actually
su
Big,
trompeta.
older. So
Y
he's
aquí
not a
dejó
kid.
su sombrero por si alguien decide apoyarlo con dinero.
He left out a hat, and that's a pass. I don't expect you to know. he left out a hat, dejó su sombrero, he left out a hat. Yeah, in case somebody decides to support him with money after they're changing, you know how that happens for street musicians, yeah. Okay, that does not show us an example of what
Y
we're
regularmente
practicing.
los músicos cuando tocan en la calle
When
piden
musicians play on
dinero
the
y
street,
ponen algún
they ask for money and they put out a receptacle for you to throw in change. And here she doesn't use the ing because she's talking about what musicians habitually do with a street musician. So she uses plain old present tense. Cuando tocan, when they play, en la calle, on the street, piden dinero, they ask for money, ponen algún, you know, put some kind of coin in their hat or box or their case, musical case, yeah.
un recipiente o un sombrero o el estuche del instrumento
Yeah.
donde
In the
guardas tu
instrument case,
instrumento,
estuche is an
lo
instrument
ponen para
case.
recibir dinero.
Right.
Por acá también podemos ver un árbol y dos
You can
pajaritos
see a tree
que
and two
están
birds.
observando toda la ciudad.
And what are the birds doing? Están observando toda la ciudad. The birds
Yes.
are
observing.
observing
Observing the entire city.
the whole city, the entire city. Yeah, they're looking it all over.
Todo
Eso
loco
sí.
de-
Y pues creo que eso es todo por esta imagen. Como podemos ver,
I
esta
think that's all. So, okay, vamos a parar. We're gonna stop that now. That showed you lots of examples with some really simple verbs. Bien. Vale. Okay. ¿Les ayuda? Does that help you guys? ¿Sí?
Sí, sí,
Okay.
mucho, mucho.
Vale la pena. It is worth it to hear all those examples. Because again, we're creating muscle memory with your brain for, these sound natural. She's talking about what is happening right now as we are watching. She's making it a live, rolling, thing. Okay, good. Vale, let's, now that you have examples, I want to see if you've got any questions about how to use this, and we're going to practice using it, but I want to know if you have any questions first. ¿Alguna pregunta? Any kind of question? ¿Alguna pregunta of what we're going to do using estar and an ando or a yendo? No? Bien, ok, vale, perfecto. Perfecto. Vamos a ver. I'm pretty sure I sent you these pictures. Did these pictures last week? See? Yeah. So you
Mhm.
can see them ahead of time.
Sí.
Exacto. Okay, vale, see. Let's use some photos and we're going to treat this as if it's going on right now. Okay, and these are possibilities. There might be other examples that are just as good. These are not the only example. You can use them and try to make this a little bit bigger. Is that easier to see?
Mhm.
¿Sí? ¿Bien?
Sí.
Bien, vale. Okay, bueno. Here are some possible verbs to talk about what is happening. If we want to talk about this as of rolling along as we're talking then, ¿sí? Bueno, en la foto, vemos, we see, vemos a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Vemos a 5 personas. Vemos a 5 personas en la foto. Es una familia, obviamente, ¿sí? Un papá, una mamá y 3 chicos, 3 niños. Bien. Possible verbs. Maybe we want to talk about what they are doing with cocinar. Or maybe one of those people versus a bunch of people. Maybe we want to use preparar. Maybe we want to use cortar. Would you use cortar to talk about el papá?
No.
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 Okay. Bien. Okay. would you use cortar to talk about el chico?
No, probably not.
No. La
No.
mamá.
Okay,
Yeah.
entiende, you understand. So we want to talk about what these people are really doing. We might use mirar, we might use ayudar, we might use organizar, ingredientes. Bien, okay. Un ejemplo. I'm going to give you just one example. Un ejemplo. A ver, entonces, I'm going to talk about the family, and remember that familia is a singular thing. So, la familia está cocinando. La familia está cocinando. Voy a escribir aquí. Bien. Voy a quitar la familia está caminando, está cocinando. Está cocinando. The family is cooking, right? Está cocinando.
Marilyn?
I could, sí, sí.
Okay, I'm
bien.
sorry, just in that same sense. So when you're saying la familia and you're saying it's singular, if you're just talking about them as a group, would you say están cocinando?
Sí,
Cocinando?
señor.
Mhm.
That's
Okay.
exactly what it, oh, you might do better. Están cocinando. They are cooking. If we mean all of them, they are. Exacto. So if I want to express the idea of they, I just, instead of están, I use están. Están cocinando. They are.
Mhm.
And you don't have to even say ellos están cocinando. If I have a visual in front of me, es obvio, it's obvious. The word ellos is kind of superfluous because we already know you mean ellos by saying están with an N at the end. Están cocinando. And everybody universally will interpret it that way. Okay, but cocinando because it's an AR verb cocinar. Okay. How about
Sorry, I got a nitpicky question.
Sí.
So if it was just the mom and dad and they're a couple,
Ajá.
is that singular or plural?
Depende. Están cocinando. You could be more specific to exclude the kids and then insert the idea of los papás or los padres están cocinando.
Están.
You could do that.
Okay.
You could say the couple, right? The couple is like the idea of la familia, singular. Sí.
Okay.
La pareja está cocinando.
Okay.
La pareja is a unit. That is a onesie. But los
Gracias.
padres.
Gracias.
Yeah, los padres is a unit, but it's a plural one. Entienden? Understand? ¿Sí? Bien, perfecto. Buena pregunta. And those are really good questions because it's exactly what we want to distinguish. Okay. Preparar. ¿Cómo se dice? How could we inject the idea of preparar to talk about this picture?
How about esta familia, esta familia está preparando comida,
Está preparando.
preparando,
Perdón. Instead of preparando, you're using what?
Preparando.
preparando.
You're adding an extra. You probably don't know you're doing that, but I want you to listen. You're adding an extra syllable,
Okay.
and that's why I looked quizzical. Preparando.
Preparando.
So I was
Okay.
saying that was preparando.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Okay, and these are okay. You know what? You can't learn without making mistakes. You can't make an omelet without breaking an egg. So that's okay. But we want to fix it right away because if you keep repeating the mistake, that's what will feel normal. We want to repeat the correction.
Mhm.
Está preparando. está preparando. I can say la mamá está preparando. I can say la familia está preparando. Okay, bien,
Mm.
vale. Actually, I'm going to add my pareja example.
Oops, your picture's fading. There we go.
Have pictures taken? Oh,
Well, it was.
está okay, so that you see those different examples. Okay, how about cortar? We cannot use cortar to talk about certain people in the scripture. Right? You can only use it for people who are actually doing it. Okay?
La madre.
Cortando.
La
¿Cómo se
madre.
usa cortar to cut?
La madre
La
está.
madre.
La madre o la mamá, sí.
Mamá.
Okay.
Está cortando.
Está cortando.
Las
Está,
verduras.
sí, las verduras.
Dos hijitas.
Veggies, sí. Sí. Perfecto, muy bien. La madre está cortando las verduras. El padre no está cortando las verduras.
Ujú.
No, el padre no está cortando. Pero sí, la madre está cortando las verduras. Bien, vale. Bueno, look at. Look at. How might we use mirar to talk
El
about this?
padre está mirando la madre.
Ok, el padre está mirando a la madre. We need a little extra there. Okay, that's just a little because
A su madre, esposa. How about,
yeah, a la
so
madre.
how about,
A
Marilyn,
su-
how about el padre and los niños? Mirando.
sí, okay. Let's change it up. Exacto. Bien. Might you change it up? You might. You might say el papá, and I'm just going to change it to save the space. El papá y
Los niños.
los niños. But now I can't use está. Now it
No.
becomes
Están.
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 Because I've got to
Están.
Están mirando a la madre. Okay. Están mirando la receta. They are looking at the receta, the recipe. Yeah, maybe, quizás, maybe. Okay. How about ayudar? Ayudar, to help.
Nadie está ayudando.
Okay, la madre está,
Uno de
está
esos.
ayudando,
Mirando
ayudando
a mamá.
a la familia. Yeah, you know. We could say, ¿cómo se dice? The kids are helping.
Los niños están ayudando.
Perfecto. Muy bien. Los chicos, los niños, los hijos, let's change it hijos because they're obviously abandoned. Los hijos están ayudando a su mamá. They're helping their mom. Bien.
Ujú.
Okay. A ver, and I'm going to throw one extra in after. These are all ando. You know what? The andos happen a lot because probably 65%, doing a ballpark figure, about 65% of all verbs in Spanish are AR verbs.
Ujú.
So, okay. But we'll throw in an ER here at the end. Now we got organizar ingredientes. Organizar ingredientes. Okay, vale, bueno. ¿Cómo sería? How would we incorporate this into a little idea?
La comida está organizando
And who's organizing?
a su mamá.
Uh,
But I'm assuming that somebody, probably the mother, organized all those vegetables.
That she's organizing. Okay, let's do that then. See, la mamá está organizando
Organizando.
los ingredientes. And notice that los ingredientes does not get an ah. When we tell what she's organizing, we don't put an ah. When we talk about the human being you're helping, who's on the receiving end, yeah, that receiving end, not a human, no word ah.
Los,
Receiving end of ayudando, human being, we need that little word ah.
Ah.
It's just what you need.
Mhm.
There's no reason except that the person receiving the action is a human being. And when that happens, we need to go to ah in front of the person. That's all. So, yeah, vale. Let's take a look at one of the oddball verbs. Leer. And this won't really sound out of the ordinary. But instead of I-E-N-D-O, it'll be the Y. Yeah, leer, leer, and we're going to use leer with la receta. The recipe, because somebody got a recipe there. Okay, ¿cómo se dice? How might we say somebody is reading the recipe?
La madre está leyendo la receta.
Bien. Bien. La madre está leyendo la receta because she's looking at this as they're going along. And you know what? If you want to say the littlest girl is not reading, if we want to make it a negative, they're not doing it. We just put a no in front of the form of his God. So I could say la niña más pequeña, ¿sí? No está leyendo la receta. ¿Bien? ¿Vale? ¿We good so far?
Yep.
Bien.
Sí.
Perfecto. Perfecto. Ok. Vamos a ver. ¿Dónde estamos? Where are we? ¿Dónde estamos aquí?
Restaurante.
the restaurant.
Restaurante.
En un restaurante, exacto.
Restaurant.
No estamos en casa. No estamos en el patio de una fiesta de barbacoa, barbecue. No, 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 no. Estamos en un restaurante. Okay. A ver. Let's take a look. And we have, ¿cuántas personas hay? ¿Cuántas? How many? ¿Cuántas personas hay? Una persona, la mesera, the waitress, la mesera, mesa is a table, mesera is a person who waits on a table. La mesera, un señor aquí, otro señor aquí, dos clientes, sí, 1, 2, 3, un señor aquí y una pareja, quizás no. Dos amigas, sí, dos amigas. Entonces, ¿cuántas personas hay en esta foto? How many people are there in this picture? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
5,
6.
6.
Hay 6 personas. Hay una camarera y hay 5 clientes en el restaurante. ¿Bien?
Bien.
Vale, bueno. Revisar is to check out, look over. Yeah, revisar. Perfectly normal AR verb.
Yeah.
How would we use this to talk about what people are doing here? And let me clarify. Let me say los clientes. And that means customers. And it's revisar.
Están revisando.
I looked at that differently. I see two
Okay.
people ordering and 3 people reading the menu.
Okay, you
Three
might.
people looking.
And you know, you might take it as the waitress is checking out what she wrote down.
Could be.
She's reviewing what she wrote on her notepad. So you might interpret it that way. Let's do two examples, two interpretations. Bien, vale. Bueno, go on. So let's do the plural one first and then a singular one after that. Los clientes. How do we say they are checking out the menu?
Están revisando el menú.
Están revisando el menú.
El menú.
El menú. El menú. El
Menú.
menú. Bien. But if I'm only talking, if I want to say she's checking her list, just la camarera or la mesera. They're two different words for waitress. We're going to use mesera. La mesera. Now I can't use están with an N at the end. It has to become
Está
está. La mesera está
revisando.
revisando
Tomar.
su lista de órdenes.
Está revisando su
Yeah,
lista.
she's reviewing her,
Lista.
orders. Okay, so está revisando. So notice, están revisando does not change, just están. Revisando is the same with está revisando.
Mhm.
Same, revisando. Okay, leer. How might we use leer?
Los clientes están leyendo el menú.
Leyendo el menú. Bien, perfecto. Están leyendo el menú. ¿Ok? Están leyendo la lista de platos. ¿Entienden? Están leyendo la lista de platos en el restaurante. Así que están leyendo el menú. Bien, perfecto. Perfecto. Decidir. Decide. Somebody's deciding on something. Or maybe only one person is deciding. You get to pick.
Las mujeres están diciendo.
Están decidiendo. Sí. Están decidiendo. Decidiendo. ¿Sí? Entre los platos, deciding between the different dishes. Están decidiendo entre, amongst, between los platos. Bien. Okay. Here we've got one oddball. Oddball. This oddball, pedir, that pe is going to become a p. This is one of the oddball stem changing verbs. So
So it's I-E-N-D-O.
we're going to talk about somebody is ordering. It might be one person. It might be a bunch of people.
Los Shush.
Los hombres están pidiendo la comida.
And I heard that exactly right. Están pidiendo la comida. Están pidiendo la comida. They are ordering a meal. See? Están pidiendo, but instead of pedir, P-E, it's pidiendo because it's an oddball verb. But this one is a common one that you hear. Pedir is a common verb and a very good verb to know. We use it to say somebody's asking for, or that they are ordering stuff. Okay, a ver. Bien. Hablar. Casi, easy one to use. Somebody is talking.
Hello,
Let's just talk about las amigas. Let's talk about las amigas, the girlfriends.
Las mujeres están hablando.
Están hablando. O las mujeres, ¿sí? Las amigas, las mujeres, no importa, doesn't matter, because we'll talk about all. Las mujeres están hablando, las amigas están hablando, ¿bien? Ah, el hombre detrás de las mujeres, no está hablando. El hombre detrás de las mujeres no está hablando. No está hablando. Bien. Vale. Bueno. Escribir. We really can only use this to talk about one person in this instance.
The waitress.
Ah, the waitress. La mesera.
La caminera. Está escribiendo. Escribiendo.
Viviendo.
Escribiendo.
Escribiendo.
Comiendo
Es-
nota.
Está escribiendo en
No
su lista,
escribido.
¿sí?
No
En su
escribido.
papelito, en su papel. On her page. Bien, ¿vale? We good so far?
Vale.
Sí.
Ujú.
¿Vale? Bien. Perfecto, perfecto. Ok. Adelante, adelante. We're going to choose this one because it's got an oddball thing. It's got a se. That means it is a reflexive. When we express the idea of sit down, we need that little se. We're going to see where that little word goes. It will still be se to talk about a person in this picture, but it will have to go in a certain order. Okay. And that certain order means that little word say is going to have to, we're going to pull it out and we're going to move it over in front of the verb. That means in front of whatever form of estar we choose to use. It'll be a se, the form of estar, and then our ando. Okay. Bien. Well, we only have one person sitting.
La
La
madre.
madre.
Yeah.
La madre.
Sí. Bien, 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 bien. So, así que, ¿cómo se dice? How do we say?
La madre se está sentada.
La mamá
Se
Está
está.
sentada.
Se está.
se está, sí, se está sentando, sentar,
Ah,
sentando. Se está sentando, se está sentando. She is sitting down. Now I'm going to show you a kind of a dirty little secret with this word say. That word say has to be there because to seat oneself means you are lowering your tushy onto a surface. And because you're doing it, somebody isn't pushing you down. You are sitting down yourself. And that is what they use. This is one use of several other reflexive verbs. That means it needs either a me to talk about yo, a te to talk about tú, a se to talk about any other person, whether it's 1 or 15. Yeah. And a nos to talk about we. So, la mamá se está sentando. It's always safe to take that se and put it in front of a conjugated verb. So, be se está. Se está sentando. But because there's a funny thing that happens with these little pronouns like me, te, nos, se. When I've got an ing form, you have some flexibility and somebody can choose what to say in a different order in that sentence. So it is also correct to say la mamá está sentándose and add the se onto the end. It is also okay. There are two places the se can go with an ando or a yendo structure. Both are correct. One is more common, not more common than the other. They're both fine. Okay. For the sake of an early learner, I think it's easier for you to get accustomed to always putting it in front of the verb, because if I only have one verb by its lonesome self, that's where it must go. But this is like two verb structures working together, the está sentando. Okay. So, okay. Anyway, a ver, la mamá se está sentando o igualmente la mamá está sentándose. ¿Bien? Vale. Sacar. Take out. Take out.
La niña
chica-
está sacando. Good. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, good, Andrew.
La niña.
La
La
niña
niña
está
está
sacando.
sacando. Está
La
sacando.
ropa,
¿Qué? What?
Las ropas.
La
La
ropa.
La
La
lavandiera.
ropa. La ropa. La ropa. Clothing. And ropa, if she's taking out 15 items, it's still la ropa. Okay?
La ropa.
We just don't use, you will never hear anybody say las ropas. It's just the way it is. So, la ropa. That's the whole thing. Whether it's one item or 15. La ropa. La niña está sacando la ropa. Y doblar, doblar, to fold. To
There we
fold.
go.
Está doblando.
Who? ¿Quién? Who is folding?
La mamá.
La
Mamá,
mamá.
la mamá está doblando
La mamá está
La-
doblando
la ropa.
la ropa.
La
¿Sí?
ropa seca.
Or you could say la mamá está doblando todo. Todo. Everything. Posible, possible. Bien? Good so
Yeah.
far? ¿Sí?
Sí.
So, Marilyn, Sam, I got a question. When
Sí,
you
sí,
look
sí.
at the picture, they're not folding the clothes now. They're going to fold the clothes.
Oh,
If you look
the
at that
girl's
picture,
folding. Oh,
they're
well, the
folding.
mom's folding. She's got
Yeah.
stuff
Okay.
next to it. You know what? You could easily also say la mamá dobla, just the present tense. Of course, we want you to
Okay.
get used to this structure. See? Yeah? Okay.
Dobla.
All right. Let's go back. We're going to finish the rest of our things. Are we good so far, or is there? Otra pregunta. Is there another question before we go back to the screen?
No.
No? Okay. Vale. Bien. And you'll notice we haven't been using any I am because I'm not in the picture. Yeah. But if it were I am, it's estoy, right?
Mhm.
And if it's we are instead of está, we are instead of estoy, it's
Estamos.
estamos. Yeah, that's all, you know. If you know those conjugations, estoy, estás, está, estamos, están, yeah, that's it. That's all you got to know how to conjugate. Qué fácil, wow, how simple. A ver, bien, ok, caminar. Walk.
It's irregular, is it not?
No, caminar,
No?
muy irregular. Very irregular.
Okay.
Sí,
Caminar.
buena pregunta, good question. Okay. Let me give you a heading or a subject. El grupo. The group.
Okay.
And we want to say caminar. The group is walking in the city.
Caminando.
Está.
Sí. And what do I need in front of caminando?
Está.
Está.
Está, if I say
Están.
grupo. El grupo
Está.
está caminando. El grupo
En
en
la ciudad.
En la-
el grupo is like la familia, is like la pareja. El grupo means a bunch of people, but it's a singular noun. Yeah, right. Los grupos están caminando would be plural. Because many times if you take a tour, you might encounter like a bunch of different tour groups in the same area. Es normal, that's a normal occurrence.
Marilyn,
Los
could we,
turistas. Oh, sorry.
yeah, I was gonna
Los-
say, could we use los turistas? That's what I
Sí,
was gonna ask.
sí, perfecto. Los turistas, ¿y cómo cambia el verbo está?
Están.
Están.
Los turistas están caminando. but caminando is still caminando. Yeah,
Sí.
even though it's now a plural group. Los turistas están caminando en la ciudad. Perfecto. Hacer un recorrido is to do a tour. See? To do a tour. So what we're going to be changing is the hacer part. Let's again make it los turistas. Los turistas
Están haciendo.
están haciendo, ¿sí? Están haciendo, and we need to change this. Hacer is an ER verb. So it becomes están haciendo un recorrido. And you may hear people just use tour. Yeah? A lot of people just anglicize tour. It's a tour. Están haciendo un recorrido en la ciudad. Bien. Ver, to see. In this case, it'll be very regular. Muy regular. It's an ER verb, so it won't be ando, it'll be yendo.
Viendo.
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 Yeah, viendo,
Bien.
sí. Oh, let's talk about the guide. La guía. La guía. She's looking at something specific. See? La guía
Está viendo.
está viendo algo interesante.
Something interesting, yeah.
She's checking out something. Está viendo algo interesante. ¿Sí? Bien, bien, bien. Now let's use mostrar to show. Let's say she's showing a building. A building, un edificio, ¿no? Un edificio. ¿Cómo se dice the guide is showing a building?
Está mostrando.
Está mostrando.
Edificio.
Sí. Está mostrando un edificio. I don't really know which one. Un edificio, a building, ¿sí? Un edificio, ¿bien? Y, sí, contar is to tell a story. You might also use decir to say or to tell. Decir is an IR verb. It is a stem changer. So decir has to become diciendo. So we're going to look at two examples with that. And then I will need to wrap up because some people may have appointments to do at 11 o'clock hour. We're up to that. So, yay. Okay. La guía. Let's make it the guide because really she would be doing the storytelling. La guía
Está diciendo.
está contando, sí, por ejemplo, la historia del barrio, the neighborhood. Yeah, you go through historic neighborhoods sometimes. Está contando la historia, just telling the background history. Or it could be está diciendo.
Diciendo la historia.
Sí, la historia del barrio, ¿sí? We don't have time to get to this. We're going to the baseball game next week. Yeah, we'll start off with the baseball game. But after today, you'll be a little more comfortable. And I'm going to leave those examples up so that when we get to that last slide, I'll resend the slide set. But when you get to that, it will be, you will have seen, and say it out loud to yourselves, read them out loud to yourselves so that you start to build some muscle memory in your brain with that. You're going to get another video. Lo siento mucho. I'm really sorry. Lo siento mucho, Sam. It's going to be Juan. It's going to be Juan. but he is speaking super slowly. And I swear,
Oh,
te juro, I swear to you, te lo juro, I swear to you, he is talking slow.
okay,
He is. He'll be talking way slower than this lady today.
okay.
But it's going to be super, and you're going to hear lots of examples. Not every single, now notice with these, not every single verb somebody uses is in this structure. Only when they want to give you that feel of right
Right.
now. But he's going to be in his girlfriend's
Girlfriend again.
yeah. He's going to be in his girlfriend's hometown doing a vacation thing
Mhm.
and talking about a typical vacation kind of activity, getting ready to go out the door, doing that activity. So it's going to be, hey, everybody, look at me, what's happening while I'm talking now. Okay. Todo bien. All good?
All good.
Mhm.
And so you're going to get a new video to watch. Do turn on the subtitles. You may need to slow it down if you need to put the speed. Gearbox, yeah, with YouTube, and then the Gearbox will give you a drop down that says speed. And if you need to slow it, don't change it to anything other than 0.75. Normal speed or 0.75. If you make it slower, it sounds like this. And that's not, you won't understand anybody speaking at a normal rate that way. Okay. Bien. Todo bien? Are we all good? Sí, sí. Bien.
Perfecto.
Perfecto. Perfecto. We will next week finish up our little slide, talk about the new video.
Okay.
I will highlight those extra verbs that are not estar and what they might mean, but that will be a short set of examples. And then we'll move on to a different topic. Is there a specific topic that comes up immediately that you guys want to do, or just keep talking about describing things that are, see? Yeah?
Sí.
Okay. If something occurs to somebody, email me later and we're good.
Okay.
Bien. Perfecto, perfecto.
Going.
Muy bien, muy bien. Ok. Muchísimas gracias por participar. Thank you very much for participating. Hola,
Bye bye.
Jean. Y nos vemos, nos vemos.
Nos vemos.
Adiós.
Sí, sí, hasta luego.